Where the niggas at who paying bills? Cause I'm not doing this shit no more. Like I'm done. I'm so fucking done. Now I see why these women out here like living good. What a nigga paying their bills? Like where are they? Because I'm not doing this no more. Like the car insurance going up. I'm paying rent. I gotta buy food. I gotta take care of everything. I'm not doing this anymore. Now I see why people stay in relationships and they're miserable. At least the bills paid. I'm not doing this no more. Where the niggas who spend money, who pay all the bills? Where they at?
Winter has arrived for so many women, and this is why you see an uptick in dating content and women talking about how the dating pool has piss in it, because they're in an economic bind. The economy is getting worse for so many women, and the bills still keep coming in, and they're just like, man, I need a man, I need some help. But you notice they're not saying I need a man for anything that a man would want, like in a woman, or in other words, for anything that a man would provide that he would enjoy. They are desperate for men because they need economic help. But what's so funny is that what makes women think like this? What makes them think that all a man is doing is waiting to be the helper, waiting to be Captain Saba, you know what I mean, Captain Saba 304, or Captain Saba woman, it doesn't have to be a 304. Why do you think men are just waiting around to come save a woman? And how are you going to get in relationship with a man? That's going to determine if a man is going to be helping you or not, isn't it? So it seems to me that instead of women coming on here panhandling and complaining, why don't you make yourself a more desirable woman so that a man picks you and then he will help you?
She really asked, where are the men paying bills, like she's looking for a lost remote control. This is the part they don't want to talk about, the complete lack of accountability for their own lives. She's literally saying she'd rather be in a miserable relationship than pay for her own food. It shows you that to a lot of these women, a man is just a tool to be used until the next winter passes. It's a sad, transactional way to look at partnership, but at least she's finally being honest about the play.
Oh my gosh, being single is so expensive. This is not what I signed up for. I really got to go buy outfits just to go out, just to try to impress these fools. And then on top of that, when I do go out, I got to at least buy myself an initial, beginner drink. So whatever that price may be. Sometimes I even got to pay to get into places by myself. I'm just so disgusted.
I am tired of the amount of gaslighting us single people have to go through. Because let's be honest, a lot of the things that our friends in relationships can get for free, we have to pay for. And there's no amount of self-love or therapy that can kind of circumvent the frustration that being single is very expensive. Because if, an example, I am sick, I don't have anyone who can cook for me. My friend can ask her boyfriend to cook for her. I have to DoorDash something. If I need help moving something in my house, I need to go find someone and pay that person to come over and move it. Well, my friend can just ask her partner. And all those things just add up. If you lose your job, you have someone who can help you with rent. If you are having like financial trouble or health trouble, you now need to like disclose that to your family or friends, which might be embarrassing, or you can tell your one husband or your wife to help you through that. It is so frustrating to have to go through so many things alone and make these really big decisions, hard decisions completely by myself. I have my friends, I have my family, I love them, I can lean on them, but maybe I don't want to tell them all about my finances. Maybe I don't want to have to over-explain my entire health condition to them. Maybe I just need someone to help me with a real quick task that I don't want to have to pay someone or wait for someone to drive across town to come help me. And it is so frustrating because we're told that, being single is great. And it's really great when compared to an unhealthy relationship. But being single is not always better than having a healthy relationship. Don't get me wrong, I am not going to go hop into a relationship with a man just so I can have someone. But I do think we need to be honest that being single, while it can be really great, is also very impractical sometimes.
Don't get me wrong, I love being single and I love living alone. It's great, it's fantastic, but fuck, it's expensive. I just spent $600 on brakes on my car, just on the front part of the car, because I couldn't afford all four brakes and axles and rotors and whatever the fuck. And then now I just paid my car payment, which is $500. So I just blew $1,100 in like 3 hours. And it wasn't even like fun, you know? Fuck. Sorry, it's just so overwhelming. Like, you work and 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 you work. And it's just to pay off like your basic necessities. And you can't, like, in this city that I live in, public transport, please. If I were to do public transport, it's like asking to get rate. And I really shouldn't be crying because now I have to go to another work event and now I'm going to be all puffy. Living is so expensive. Just keeping yourself alive and floating is so expensive. And what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted is if I were to take public transport here, especially for my job requires a car. I have to have a bunch of shit that I have to lug with me for work. And I can't do that with public transport. I'm venting. Inflation sucks. Just living in America sucks. Living alone sucks. It's great, but it sucks. Because you have to front all the expenses by yourself.
Look, fellas, pull up a chair a minute. There's a question floating all over the internet right now, and folks are genuinely stumped by it. They're looking at single men in this brutal 2026 economy and asking, how in the world are these guys getting by? How are they so calm? How do they have a little money in the bank when everybody else is drowning? Watch the clip. Then come on back and sit with me, because the answer is so simple, it's almost funny, and once you see it, son, you cannot unsee it. There's a whole wave of videos going around right now, person after person, sitting in the car or at the kitchen table, saying the very same thing. Being single is so expensive. I need a husband just so I can live. I need somebody, anybody, to split these bills with me. Watch it if you want, then come sit back down with me. Do me a favor first and hit that subscribe button if these talks do you any good at all. Alright, let's get into it. And stick with me all the way to the end, because I'm gonna give you the real reason a single man has money in his pocket right now, and it is not the reason the internet keeps guessing at. Here's the whole secret, son, and it isn't much of a secret once you hear it. The single man is not surviving the economy, he just stopped paying for 2 lives on 1 paycheck. Write that down somewhere, you'll see it. That's the entire trick. There's no magic to it, he simply stopped the bleeding. Let me say it plainer. He didn't get a raise, he didn't win any lottery, he didn't stumble onto some secret side gig the rest of you don't know about, he just plugged the leak. Picture it with me. Picture a man sitting in a boat with a slow leak down in the bottom. And every single day he's down there bailing water with a bucket, sun up to sundown, exhausted clean to the bone, and he never can understand why he's always so tired and never seems to get anywhere. But the water keeps coming in just as fast as he can throw it out. Now one day, that man finally patches the hole. And suddenly, the same fella in the same boat, in the very same storm, is floating just fine. He didn't get stronger overnight, he didn't find calmer waters, he just stopped losing what he was working so hard to keep. That is the whole story of the single man in 2026. For years, a lot of good men were bailing. Paying for the dinners, paying for the trips, covering rent that wasn't theirs, financing a whole second life for somebody who was never rowing the boat with them, just sitting in it. And these men couldn't figure out why they worked so hard and had nothing to show for it. Then, one at a time, they set the bucket down. They stopped funding people who saw them as a wallet with a heartbeat. And all that money, all that energy, all that hard work, for the first time in their lives, started staying in the boat. That's it. That is the big mystery everybody's so confused about. Let me put a face on it for you. There's a young fella I know, works construction, good kid, hard as they come. A couple years back, he came to me damn near in tears. Could not understand how he was pulling double shifts and still couldn't cover his own truck payment. So we sat down with a piece of paper and wrote out where every dollar was going. And there it was, plain as day. He was covering his girlfriend's car, her phone, half her rent, her nights out, a whole grown woman's life, right on top of his own, and she wasn't putting in a dime. He wasn't broke. He was bailing. So he stopped. Not mean about it, he just stopped. And you know what? She was gone inside a month, off to find herself another boat to sit in. Stung him at the time. But that same kid called me this spring. He's got money saved for the first time in his life. He's back in the gym. And he told me, and I quote him, "Pop, I thought I was drowning because I wasn't strong enough. Turns out I just had a hole in my boat the whole time." That's the whole lesson from a 26-year-old who learned it the hard way. Now, don't you mishear your old friend. This is not me telling you to hate women or to swear off love and go live in a cave with your bank account. That's a fool's errand and a lonely one. There are good women out there by the millions who row harder than any man, who bring their own paycheck and their own strength to the table, and who would never in 100 years see you as a bailout. Those women are real. A partnership with one of them is not a leak in your boat. It's a second set of oars, and two people rowing go twice as far as one. The goal was never to be alone forever, son. The goal is to never again let somebody drill a hole in your boat and call it love.
So I came across this. She says, if you can't afford a woman's lifestyle to date within your budget, stop shaming women for wanting what you can't provide. And you can't provide it for you either. See, that's the irony of the gaslighting. You don't got the money to get what you want. So you're looking for a man to give you your unreasonable requests and demands. Nobody can afford a woman in America. You know why? You guys are insatiable. You want everything. If you get this car, you're thinking about the next one. If you get a nice house, you're thinking about a bigger one. Nothing will ever be enough because you're not happy and satisfied on the inside. There is a hole in your heart that you're trying to fill with things, and that will never work. And that is the core problem in dating. And I will also say, I've been around the world, 92 countries I've traveled to, and the most beautiful women in the world, you would never see them saying this. It is always average looking women, and there's nothing wrong with being average. Average women get married every day. I'm an average looking guy. But the most beautiful women never have this attitude. And you know what happens because they're humble, sweet, nice, and kind? They tend to get more, so they never have to make a video like this. Guys, they're broke. The women who are making these videos are broke. They cannot afford their lifestyle. And you will go broke trying to give them what they need to fill that big hole inside of their heart. Bars.
A lot of women are bums, and you have high standards with low quality in yourself. You want a man to have 6 figures. You want a man to take care of you, pay all your bills. You want a man to do this, that, and the third. Elevate your life. But you can't do that for yourself. So why is a man going to invest that into you when you don't even do that for yourself? If you don't show a man that you're worth that yourself, why is it that you feel obligated to meet somebody? And most times it's a stranger. You meet a stranger and he ain't trying to pay your bills. You don't want to deal with him. That's insane.
It's a stranger.
But here's the flip side of that. Women are putting themselves in situations where they're dealing with less than for a nigga that's paying their bills.
No, most women feel like when they fuck a nigga, they can fuck some money out of a nigga too.
Prostitution. That's modern day prostitution. You want to mess with a nigga that got money and you think you calculating his pockets. Oh, he got money. That's his money. And then when you fuck him, you get mad because you don't get nothing. If we're going to be anything in 2024, let's be fucking for real, because that's not.
I often do videos talking about the fact that I'm 39, single and happy, but today I wanted to tell you about the worst thing about being single. Gotta keep it real. It's not always easy. So yeah, the worst thing about being single is dun, dun, dun. Finances. I have to pay for everything myself. There is no one to share a single bill with. But I'm being serious. Mortgage or rent, bills, food, everything. I get to share costs with nobody. And I know there'll be people like, well, that's your fault. That's your fault because, you know, you're single. You haven't met somebody. You're single, aren't you? It's your fault. Oh, I'm sorry. Should I just be in a relationship just so that I have someone to share the bills with? Does that seem like a good idea? And I cannot even begin to imagine what it's like to be a single parent. There's me and my cat, and I'm struggling, especially in a cost of living crisis, let alone if I had children to feed. Whew. So when it comes to being single, honestly, for me personally, that is the worst thing. Everything else, we good, baby. But the money, before you blame me for being single, just understand that sometimes you can be a really great person. You just didn't meet your match yet. Or should I say, the person you're gonna share your bills with.
If you are not giving me money, don't call me. If you don't want to pay for things, don't invite me on a date. If you're not a provider, do not talk to me, because the minute that you stop providing, I'm gonna get rid of you. I'm just really at a point where I'm like, oh, if you're not doing what I want, you're gonna get blocked and it's on to the next one. And I mean specifically for like romantic relationships, but also like generally. If I communicate with you about my needs and you don't give a shit, you're getting blocked and I'm not talking to you anymore. I think I've just grown into a place where I understand my time and energy is being valuable, and I have information to give. I have a lot to offer, and people take advantage of that. And I ask for nothing because I don't want to be seen as a burden or selfish or whatever. But then I don't get anything. I never get anything in return, and then I feel slighted. So no more, you're getting blocked.
So here's what really happened. The leverage shifted. For a long time, a man's worth in the dating world got measured by how much weight he was willing to carry for somebody else. How much he'd spend, how much he'd cover, how much of his own life he'd hand over just to prove he was worth keeping around. And a whole lot of men played that game for years, quietly going broke, trying to buy their way into being loved. But the economy got hard, real hard. And when it did, men looked down at what that game was actually costing them, and a bunch of them just stopped playing. Not out of anger, out of arithmetic. And the second they stopped, the money showed up. Because it was always their money. They were just giving it away. And here's the part I really want you to carry out of here today. You were never broke, son. You were funding 2 lives on a single paycheck. A single man with a full bank account in this economy is not lucky. And he did not find some secret. He plugged the leak, and he kept his own labor for himself for once in his life. That is not selfishness. That is a man finally treating his own hard work like it means something. Now let me talk straight to the young man watching this. You are gonna feel a whole lot of pressure to prove your worth with your wallet. To spend big and spend first, so nobody ever thinks you're broke. I need you to see that trap for exactly what it is. Every single dollar you throw at somebody to make them stay is a dollar that could have been building you, your savings, your skills, your body, your freedom, your peace. And here is the truth nobody bothers to tell you. A man who has quietly built those things is a man who can never be bought, never be trapped, and never be used. Not because he's cold, because he's whole. So build. Get your money right and keep it right, and quit apologizing for keeping it. Get your body right, get a skill nobody on earth can take from you, build a tight circle of good men who are going somewhere, and build a peace down inside your chest that doesn't depend on anybody else's approval. Do that, and you will not be surviving this economy, son. You'll be standing on dry ground watching everybody else bail calm as a Sunday morning because your boat doesn't have a hole in it anymore. So here's your charge, and I mean every word. Stop trying to buy your way into being wanted. Invest in yourself the same way you used to spend on people who never invested back. When somebody shows you they see a bill splitter instead of a human being, believe them the first time and keep your bucket. And keep on building yourself into so much, man, that the right partner rows beside you and the wrong one can't get anywhere near your boat. You are not a bailout, son. You are not an emergency fund with a face. You are a man, and your labor is not a charity. So plug your leaks, keep your own paycheck, and pour it into the one project that always pays you back, which is you. Do that, and let them stay confused. Confused is just what it looks like from the outside when a man finally stops losing water. That's what I've got for you today. Do me one favor before you go. Drop a comment and tell me one leak you're gonna plug this year, one place your money's been draining that it shouldn't, and send this along to a younger fella who's bailing water right now and can't figure out why he's always so tired. I'll see you next time. Take care of yourself.